Hey guys, it's Matrai. Yeah, it's time to show off a new deck. What deck is that? This deck is Ritual Beasts, and Ritual Beasts are an extremely fun deck to play. I think that they're right on the line of competitive. Overall, this deck is just really good. I'll explain everything I play. No, I do not. Sadly, I do not have Conahawk yet. Yeah, that's really sad, but it is what it is, right? Anyway, we're going to start by going into the deck profile. You do not need Conahawk. This deck is played really well. I had an 80% win rate last night, no Conahawk, and I'll show you the new deck build I'm playing today. We'll talk about each and every one of these cards. First, we'll start off with 3 Spiritual Beast Tame Winder. You want 3 of this. This card is fantastic. If she's destroyed by battle or a card effect, you get to special summon any of your Rituals Beasts, Spirit Beasts. So any of your Tamers, we'll go over what exactly you need to summon these things. But right now, you can summon any of your Tamers or any of your Spiritual Beasts. You can summon also the Fusion Monsters, which is very important because it's very nice to drop in a Paleo, Ulti Paleo right from the extra deck. So she's really good. Also, if you go in with your Tamer Elder and summon this, and they tretch you, she'll get to summon something. So that's really important as well. Alright, just to let you know. Now, going on to the most important spiritual beast in the deck, Petalfin. Petalfin allows you to out a lot of monsters in this game. Brave Neos, Blue Eyes, and some of the other extra deck monsters like Fortune Lady Every and Gravekeeper's Supernaturalist. Really good one card out. This deck does not die to Necro Valley. As a matter of fact, Necro Valley really doesn't affect it at all. So it's really good to deal with that. So definitely 2 of these. You need 2 because in any case, like once I go into the combos, you'll understand why we need 2. But definitely 2. Also for the consistency, you want 2. 3 Tamer Elder. Tamer Elder is the best one you have, especially since we don't have Conahawk. I'm not playing a Cold Strike build. When you run Tamer Elder, you summon this thing, and then you can summon any of your Spiritual Beasts in the hand. She counts as both a Ritual Beast Tamer and a Spiritual Beast, so you could summon her, you could summon your Petalfin, your Paleo, whatever. You could summon from the hand, and then you can Contact Fusion. The one thing that's really good about this deck is, if you guys have played during Gladiator Beast format, you know that if they floodgate or Canadi your monsters, you can still Contact Fuse. Okay? It does not matter if your monsters are face down or face up, which is really good. Now, I can guarantee you 50 other people on the ladder do not know that. 50 billion other people do not know that. So you can take advantage of that. That's a hyperbole, by the way. Alright, next. Spiritual Beast Apelio. Apelio is... It's not really needed. It's kind of the filler because we do not have our Conahawk yet, but you can come clutch in a few situations if you need damage. Also good on your opponent's turn to work with Legacy Clash. So for example, if you boost up your monsters, you can get more damage, more attack decrease on Legacy Clash, so that could come in handy. 2 Laura. Laura is good because she can bring back any of your Spiritual Beasts from the graveyard. So if you set this turn 1, you summon a monster, next turn you can summon Laura, and then bang out another Ritual Beast Fusion Monster for 1 card. Really good. Now, my spicy tech comes in here. 2 Herald of the Abyss. Now, this is your route to Cositis. You pay 1,500 life points, you declare 1 monster type and attribute, and your opponent must send 1 face-up type with declared attribute from the field to the graveyard. Also, your opponent cannot activate effects for the rest of the turn with the sent monster's name. That's not really important here. But you can use this to send their, Cositis to the graveyard. Also, a few other random ritual monster, infusion monsters. This could send Gravekeeper's Supernaturalist to the graveyard, and a few other random things. It's good against the Kini because it doesn't destroy. So, there are some good things that you may want to do with this card, but this card is a 1 card out. You could also run Share the Pain. You do not need this card. Share the Pain works just as well. Alright, you do not need to spend money on this card to play the deck. Please don't. Okay? Please don't work yourself up chasing after Herald of the Abyss. Also, since we have to pay 1,500 life points, our skill choice is No Mortal Can Resist. And we have Mirror Wall also to help us get to that life point threshold. If we're 1,000 less than our opponent at any time, we can turn their monsters once per turn into Skull Servants in their graveyard, which really comes in handy because it makes Herald of the Abyss also good against Fortune Lady Every. Because once you use it on Every, then you can just turn all their monsters into Skull Servants. Really nice that they don't get Every. 2 World Legacy Clash. This card is just really good, and I think everyone understands why. You banish 1 face-up monster. Really good to protect your fusions, just in case you don't want to tag out at any point and you just want to cut their monster down. But really good in general. Clash is just amazing. 2 Mirror Wall, again, fits No Mortal Can Resist. It also is an Atticositis. Now, some people may ask me, but Sean, is this really slow? And I'll say to you, no, it's not, because we could just tag out if they Cyclone us anyway. So it's not really that big of a deal. But Mirror Wall is just good in general. Also, taking your opponent to the damage step is really important in this meta, because there are some effects, like Magician's Navigation, that cannot trigger in the damage step. And that is really good at shutting down those effects and getting by those effects. And that's really could be really important to deal with some of the tougher matchups for you. Okay, now 2 Wall Disruption. 2 Wall Disruption. Wall Disruption is really good because when your opponent's monster declares an attack, they lose 800 for each one in attack mode. So, pretty simple and easy there. Okay? So this is good against Dark Lords. And then our Ambush rounds it up. Ambush is really good because, you search it off of your Ulti Connie Hawk, and then Connie Hawk. And then Connie Hawk allows you to search it, and then if you make your plays right, you can abuse the heck out of Connie Hawk. Funny story, this card was banned, well, at least limited in the TCG, and I'm going to show you why, alright, with the combos I'm about to show you here, alright? Well, first of all, in the TCG, we had a card called Ritual Beast Steeds, and what Steeds did was it allowed you to blow up endless monsters on the field, which made Connie Hawk so broken. But we'll go into why it's broken in a second. Alright? So, when you have multiple monsters banished, especially with Pet Elfin, you can not only search, but summon another monster back to the field. And you summon your 2 materials back, and you may say, well, why? Because you have to return 2 cards. No. As long as one of the cards in Connie Hawk that you use to send with Connie Hawk to search, so as long as one of the cards used with Connie Hawk are sent to the graveyard, then you are able to summon back your material and search. So let me show you an example rather than just tell you. So you normal summon, let me show you an example of a combo. Normal summon Tamer Elder, you summon your Pet Elfin. Your Pet Elfin banishes your Winda. Contact Fuse into your Connie Hawk. Now you have Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda, you have all 3 of these banished. Now, you activate Connie Hawk's effect. Now, you cannot do this. Do not do this the minute it's summoned. It will prompt you. You have to have toggle on. But not the minute it's summoned, because this is not going to work. It has to be an ignition effect on the field. And what ignition means is that it does not trigger automatically. It's not a quick effect. It's an ignition effect. Okay? There are multiple different kinds of effects. Quick effects can activate as non-ignition effects, meaning that they don't have to be successfully summoned to the field first before you activate its effect. They can activate in a chain to start a chain link. Well, anyone can start a chain link, but they can activate as a quick effect before they have to be summoned on. So not ignition effect. So you have to wait. Ignition meaning that you have to wait till these are successfully summoned onto the field. Okay? So once that happens, alright, you can now activate this as an ignition effect, your Connie Hawk. Okay? So that's your ignition effect. Then you could send back your Winda, your Tamer Elder and your Pedalfin back to the graveyard. And when you do so, to search, you chain link your quick effect, which is the return. Any of the ones that shuffle back in are your quick effect. The ones that search are not. That's your ignition effect. So, you chain your quick effect to target your Tamer Winda and your Pedalfin. What will happen is your Tamer Elder will go to the graveyard, and you only need one card in the graveyard, not two. Then you will immediately be able to special summon Tamer Winda and your Pedalfin, and then you will able to get a search off. Now, if you can combo this even further, sometimes if they have multiple cards on the field, and you have another Spiritual Beast removed from the game, let's say you have Laura 2, you can then search Apelio. Vice versa, if you have another Spiritual Beast removed from play, you could search your Laura and banish it to get rid of another card in the field and then redo the play and get another search off. So this could be a great way for getting rid of your opponent's whole board, or also just trying to search out a ton of cards and deck in your deck. So these are the combos that you need to learn and master. Okay? How to abuse Conalog correctly. Because I'm telling you guys, if we get further support, like if we get states in this game, this card is going to become well known. It's going to become very dangerous. Alright? So be very careful. This deck is very dangerous in the player who knows how to play this deck's hand. Alright? So, that's that with Conahawk. That's how you abuse Conahawk. I wanted to teach you guys that right off the bat. Alright? Now, our fusions, our other fusions, are Ulti Apelio. You need two of these. Do not try to skip and get one. Alright? Because if anything happens to it, which generally you can protect it, you'll be literally in the toilet bowl. Alright? So, in other words, if you, let's say they, wait and they try to floodgate and you tag out your Ulti Apelio and then go into another one and they floodgate it again, then you're screwed out of having a second Ulti Apelio. Alright? So that's very important. You want at least two of them. If you can get three, great, but it's not the end all if you only have two. You will be fine. Alright? Another thing I want to talk about is its effect. When it attacks, it's unaffected by all cards and effects until the end of the damage step, so it's a Star Eater effect. But more importantly, needs to be addressed. It's unaffected by your own card effects. So what is that? So you're going, well, what does that mean? Well, if you boost up with Apelio, it's unaffected by it, which is kind of dumb, but you know, it is what it is. I think that's bad card design, but it is what it is. Also, if you try to use Concentrating Current, which has been a hot tech of late with this deck, with any deck in the meta, it will not work with your Ulti Apelio because it will be unaffected by that. Ties That Bind will work also. Now, another thing, too, is if you use As Quick as the Wind, which I know probably some people are trying out, you will be unaffected by your own Quick as the Wind. And you may say, well, why? That's a skill. Because Rising Air Current is a card. It activates a field spell card. So that's technically an effect. So you want to be really careful with that, alright? So that's why we're not playing those cards too much in our deck. But still, this card is absolutely fantastic. And what makes this card even more broken is this card plays around Floodgate and Canadia. It also plays around Sanctified too. Well, how does it do that? Well, if you go into this and they brandlessly sanctify you because they don't want to lose life points, you tag it out. And now, when that tag out resolves, you get, this becomes Chain Link 2, and because this becomes Chain Link 2 and your Sanctify becomes 1. Now, the reason why Sanctify will not resolve is because this is a cost. This has to get removed off the field first. The return to the actual deck is a cost, which is really, really good. That is the best way to get it off the field, because then, like Clash, your opponent's effects will not be able to resolve on this thing. So if they Sanctify you brainlessly, oh well, they just coughed up their Sanctify, too bad on them. Alright? So that's really good. Now the last fusion to talk about is Ritual Beast Ulti Pedalfin. This card is really, really clutch. It may seem really bad, but it's really not. It's a 2800 body, which means Desperado can't do crap against this card, because like Cositis, It cannot be destroyed by card effects. It was still targeted though, so you have to be careful with that. But it cannot be destroyed by card effects. So if they summon Desperado and try to pop, they're not going to get anywhere with this. So unless they have things that are going to target you and not destroy you, then they're just going to auto lose to this card. Alright? And now some Desperado players have gotten smart. Dark Mirror Force will not do anything against this card because this does not attack in defense mode. Concentrating card, they could try to get over it, but if they have their toggle on and you see ahead of time that they have current, you can take out ahead of time, which is really nice in this deck. So this card is a staple against Desperado because then they just shuts them down entirely. Alright? So that's an easy win there. Now, the deck as a whole, I want to discuss the strategy of this deck. Basically, the strategy of this deck is you want to control the board as much as possible. This deck is kind of a mix of Gladiator Beasts and Triumphs. And the reason why I compare this greatly to Triumphs is because Triumphs have the same strategy that you want to control the board as much as possible. Except in Triumphs, you're trying to boost up your monsters. Here, not so much. But the more you gain control of the board, the harder it will be for your opponent to be able to do anything. Especially once you could start looping Pedalfin, because then it can be really annoying for your opponent. They really won't be able to keep too many monsters on the field. And it can be very hard once you get 2 or 3 fusions out because they won't be able to break your defense. And then you'll have Lara to re-enable your plays so for your follow-ups. So that's really good. Plus, to add on top of it, no Mortal is absolutely crazy because I've had duels where late game I just shut down their graveyard and they can't do anything. Yeah. So like a Blue Eyes player, if they enable a graveyard, like if Blue Eyes deal it, we take 1,000 or we herald them, and they have like a huge graveyard set up, like with Keeper in it, you just cut their whole graveyard and they're screwed. Like I've been destroying Blue Eyes, guys. I've like been beating Blue Eyes. Like I think I beat like 3 or 4 Blue Eyes decks. This deck has been killing Blue Eyes because they just Clash just hurts them. Wall of D at the right time can hurt them really bad. Herald the Abyss, surprisingly, you can really hurt them too because you get rid of 1 monster and then no Mortal after that. So, it really does. And Pedalfin, really good against Blue Eyes. I would say the hardest deck to beat is Invoked. And Gravekeepers, not really, because Gravekeepers you just can remove their threats and Necro Valley doesn't really do anything to this deck. Plus, if you can keep getting rid of their face-down monsters with Pedalfin, it's going to annoy the crap out of them. Yeah, so that's a good matchup for this deck. 6 Samurai this deck can handle too, because you can get rid of, they don't have Clash anymore, which is really big for them because now you can just summon this and get rid of their monster. So they have to dual wield you or they just lose. You get rid of their Shien and then they're going to cry. My brother and great friend of mine, Chopper200, showcased off my replay where I just instantly just wrecked Samurais. Anyway, enough of me talking. Let's get into the ladder and describe how this deck is. I love this deck, dude. Is it tier list worthy? I don't know yet. Is it cog worthy? Absolutely. There's not a doubt in my mind that this deck can get you to King of Games. Easy King of Games I think you can get with this deck. If you know what you're doing. The key is like Triumphs. Like I say to many people, Triumphs are an easy King of Games too, so are Vendreads. You just need to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to really struggle. And that goes for any deck. Even Dark Lords. Dark Lords are a little bit more big brain now. Alright, so I think this player was playing Blue Eyes. We just set 3 back row. Not an ideal open. No man that cross outs us. Just sitting there like, wait, what? So people were attacking this against the meta for whatever it is. Treaches us. Destroys our Windus, so once Windus destroyed, face up or face down, we get our fusion right on the field, so that's pretty good. He's going to go right into Dragon Spirit of White. Dragon Spirit of White's going to banish our Wall D. He's going to follow up with Spirit of White summoning Blue Eyes. Then he's going to follow up with Silver's Cry. Silver's Cry is going to special summon Dragon Spirit of White. Does not miss the timing, did not use an enchain. And it's turn, smart there. Alright, so Lara on summon, going to special summon back Artema. Going to get our Hawk. Hawk, boom, boom. And see how we chain this? See what I'm talking about here? We're able to chain our effect. We didn't do it right there. We didn't have it because I think I misplayed. That's not where I did it appropriately. I misplayed there. But anyway, he swings in. We mirror wall him. I do have a duel, I think, in this replays where I do show off that combo. So, just bear with me. Anyway, we're going to go ahead, special summon, bring back Penelphin. Penelphin, return Blue Eyes to the end. And even through that misplay, if it was one, I don't know quite if we had the situation available, but even through that misplay, if there was one, easy win. Ulti Paleo, can't do anything. Negates the boost, unfortunately, and then we just go for game with Kanahawk. So easy win against Blue Eyes. Real easy. Now this is against Odeon. He just scoops against us. Why? Because this deck hammers any deck that relies on back row. So if you go up against these cuck decks that want to play Endless Floodgates and more of these, you cuck them. The only thing that hurts us is these Hollow Life Barrier Rainbow Life decks because they can just stall on them. But even still, you could just run them out of their resources. Alright, so Paleo instantly into our Arcana Orc. We're just going to go ahead. Now this is fine too. You could turn one Kana Orc if you want to swan the board and just search Ambush. Ambush was absolutely nasty in the TCG. I'm so glad we got this card because Ambush is really good. He's playing Amazonas and just scoops. Sorry 2 times. I know you had to watch that 2 seconds of terror for you. I don't know, man. He just scoops easy. Once we get that game, once we get our game going. Yeah, Onslaught doesn't do anything to this deck. I'm sorry, bro. I'm really sorry. You either have Queen or I'm sorry, man. he just scooped. Your Amazoness friend just scooped. Now this was against Spellbooks. I mean, this guy must have been pissed because he didn't draw invokes the whole game. Alright. So normal summons or Silent Magician. Searches Spellbook secrets, goes master, searches what the card's called. Excuse me. Organization. I keep forgetting the name of that, but I know what it does. Now this guy misplayed his ass out because he kept trying to wait till my fusion came out to Fate, which is a big misplay. You want to stop them before the fusion gets out. So he's forced the Fate window, leaving me with a body on board, and this is really important. Top deck's Power. Power is going to allow him to swing over my Tamer Elder. Searches another secrets. Ends turn. We go. And we're just going to summon Tamer, our Winda, and see what response he has. Cosmic Cyclones are War Legacy. They're playing that with Lumicent Umber, because now you have to get the nerf in, pay 1,000. Activate Secret. Secret's just going to search Eternity. Eternity is going to allow him to get back. Oh, he activates Master, forgive me. Searches is another Blue Boy. And then Eternity is going to allow him to get back another play after he fates. Alright. So Eternity, you get a Fate. This was a smart play by him, considering he did not have his Alistair or his Silent Magician yet. So we top Tamer Elder. Tamer Elder, go into our Penelphin. Contact Fuse. Give me the Kanahawk. And now, again, did not do the play here. We did do the play here. Excuse me. So this is where I wanted to bring up. This is where the play comes in, guys. Against Spellbooks, this is what you want to do. Alright? Does not fade us immediately. I did this because I caught onto his pattern that he wasn't going to fade properly. So I took a risk here. We had 2 Windas banished. So what we were able to do is we chose our other Winda. We sent the first Winda back to the graveyard. And then, as you can see here, and then we used our other Winda to be able to summon these 2 guys back on the field. And because one went to the graveyard, we were able to get a search. Really, really powerful. Set Ambush to play around yet another Fate. So he fates us. Unfortunately, we already summoned. Oh, one other thing I want to bring up about the Ritual Beasts. Ritual Beasts and Spiritual Beasts can only be special summoned once per turn. So you got to be careful with that. Alright. That's to prevent endless loops. Tops Blue Boy, another one. This is really hurting him. Ambush. Bring back our Winda. Bring back Penelphin. This is it. Normal summon. Contact Fuse. You're done. Spellbooks, get out of here. You cucks! I wish I could say that was a warm welcome matchup, but I'd be lying. Spellbooks, you cucks! I know, Choppa, if you're watching this, that's got to put a smile on your face. And Steven too, yeah. Definitely, if you haven't subscribed to them, definitely go and subscribe to both Steven and Choppa 200. So Steven Freshly and Choppa 200. Two amazing duelists right there. Tell you, they're brothers to me. Alright, so this was Gadgets. I mean, for whatever reason, it's playing Gadgets, sets 3 back row, and that's like heaven for us. All we needed to do is draw a Spiritual Beast there, or a Ritual Beast, because Winda counts as both. In my opinion, you need to play 3 Winda. Winda is so good. You can get away with 2, but 3 really maximizes her out. And then we just go double ulti Paleo, and at that point, she's just going to lose. Now, if you have 2 ulti Paleo on the field, and the first one attacks, the second one will get reduced, because each of their effects are only if that specific card attacks. So, if they will D you, the second one will still lose its attack. Alright, this is, and the last replay we have is against the Blue Eyes player. Again, I just want to show you I don't want to show you replays against all these cuck decks, because then it doesn't really show you, okay, how am I going to beat the meta? I'm going to show you. Set and turn, that's fine. Tribute to the Dooms, okay. So, since he destroyed Winda, you can summon Winda, because we only summoned her once that turn. Snipe Hunter is going to pop our Winda. We're going to be able to summon out our ulti Pedalfin, right? So he can't snipe us anymore this turn. Well, he can snipe, but he can only go for the back row. Alright, so Dragon Spirit of White on the back row. Normal summon Laura. Special summon. Contact Fusion. Oh my gosh, I was about to say Synchro Summon. You know what it is? It's so like a Synchro Summon that you would actually get caught up with that. Alright, follows up with a back row and a snipe, which again I'm completely fine with. Tax, Legacy Clash, reduce Blue Eyes down to 400. Again, just showing you. Pedalfin will tag out afterwards, since we now have to remove from play. My turn. Go into that. He floodgates us. Floodgate does nothing against us, bro. Nothing. Unfortunately, we have to chain that as a quick effect, so we won't get the search. We go into our ulti Paleo, and we crush Blue Eyes! Get out of here! Boom! Ritual Beast! So yeah, I mean, a lot of fun. Again, this is a deck that I would say, like, if you want to play it on base front, you know, on its base, you could probably get away with it if you're a new player, but if you want to really maximize the potential of this deck, you gotta know what you're doing. And like I tell everyone with Tridents, I'm telling you guys this, alright? If you want to get good with these decks, the best way is to keep dueling, alright? For Tridents and Ritual Beasts, it's all about situations. The more you play test, the more you will encounter situations that, you know, you will learn what to do in certain X, and O. So let me give you an example. Alright? If you play test against Dark Magician, Six Samurai, like Dark Magician, you know, right? If they're playing Magician of Chaos, they're going to activate Advanced Ritual Art, right? And that, if you know that they're playing that deck, like if they may be playing Alexis or Pegasus due to the new buff, then you may want to take out your Triumph's field spells early, right, to avoid the Magician of Chaos popping your field when he activates your Triumph Cruiser, right, to send it to the grave. You learn that situation, right? And the same with Fortune Ladies. You know what to do in those certain situations. How to deal with Everett and how to deal with your Fortune Lady past, right, and how to stop the mid-combo. You have to duel to learn what to do in certain situations. And also, learn the extended combos. You have to learn the combos. You have to master the combos. Alright? That's what's going to make you a better duelist, is experience. Alright? I didn't get good in Yu-Gi-Oh! Overnight. It took time for me to learn this game and become, a good duelist. You know, it took me time. I think that for everybody, I think everybody can become a good duelist if you put the time into learning the game. Yeah. Yep. So, for me, like, I know a lot of good duelists out there. Steve and Chopper being really good duelists. Excellent duelists. They take a lot of time playing this game, and a lot of my friends, Dre Dollars, YT Gucci 2 times, D Turner, Shiny, Solakaiba. I can't name a ton of people off the top of my head. Plug from Steven's stream. All really good duelists. So, guys, you know, you have to be really committed to learning. Like, honestly, if you play in the Casey Cup Stage 2, you will learn a lot. You know, people say, "Oh, is it worth it for the rewards?" You know, that's your prerogative. But if you play in that stage and play against a lot of top tier players, especially on day one, if you get over 10K really early in the morning, you're gonna go up against a lot of top tier players. And that, for me, is worth it because you're learning a lot. Even through your losses, like, you'll learn a lot through your losses in this game, or in any duel, than you do from your wins. I'm telling you. Because these top-tier players will really teach you how to play the game through their dueling. I'm telling you. Alright, that's enough with me rambling on. Alright, that's it for this video. We're gonna put an end to it here. I'll see you guys next time.